So today I wanted to do a video that I've seen a lot of people do, and a lot of people have called it different things. I've heard it called like exploding books, bomb books, read it or unhaul it, challenges. These books will self-destruct. But in my mind, I've always just kind of called them my read or unhaul books. And yeah, that's the concept. It's a bunch of books that you've had on your shelves for a really long time and you've never gotten to for one reason or another. So it's kind of people make these videos to kind of give themselves a time frame to get these books read by. So I have a few books on my shelf that stood out to me immediately when I thought about this. So I'm just going to go over those books. I know the point of it is to give yourself a timeline. I've seen a lot of people do like a book a month or like 12 books in 12 months, which equals out to a book a month, but like a year to read these books. I don't want to go as short as a month. I don't want to go as long as a year. So I'm not sure what my time frame is going to be, but I know like the point of it is to set a time limit. So hopefully by the end of this video, I will have talked that out for myself. But like I said, I've seen a bunch of different creators do this video concept and call it a bunch of different things. I'll link a bunch of them down below in the description if you want to check them out. And yeah, let's just get into the books because I don't want this video to be a million years long. Okay, so the first book I'm going to talk about is a book that has been seen on my channel recently quite a few times. Like if you've watched any of my recent videos, you might have seen this book already. I think it was on my September TBR, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't think it was on my October TBR, but in September. So if you saw my September TBR or my September vlogs, you've seen this book. And that is Save the Date by Morgan Matson. I got this book back in, I don't know, it was either 2019 or 2020. I did eBay mystery book box unboxing. I will link the video up there. This was in one of those boxes. There was a time where on BookTube people were doing a lot of talking about Morgan Matson, and this book is kind of on my radar from that time period, but I never actually picked it up. So like when I got the box, I was like, ooh, cool, I want to read this. But now it's been like 2 or 3 years and I still haven't read it. And like I keep putting it on TBRs and I'm still not reading it. So yeah, I think I've said multiple times like, oh, I'm gonna read this book now, but if I don't, I'll probably just get rid of it. And I still have it. So now we are officially putting it on the read or unhaul, these books will self-destruct, whatever we're gonna call it, list. So if it doesn't get read for real this time, it's gone. So this next book, I made an unhaul video a year or two ago. I made an unhaul video and this book was actually in that video. So like technically this book has already been unhauled, but I will also link that video up above. For some reason, at the very last minute, while I was packing all the books to donate them, I was like, no, I'm gonna hold on to this one. I'm gonna give it another chance. So that is Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. I don't particularly like books about angels. Angel books are not my jam. I've read a few different ones. All of them have been like low 3-star, like generous, 3 stars generous type of books. I'm not a huge fan of angel books, but for some reason, this one just keeps sticking around. Like I can't get rid of it for some reason. It just stays on my shelves. So again, it's going on there. If I don't read it this time, 100% mark my words, it is leaving my shelves. But I'm gonna give it one last chance to be read. So the next one is a book that I've actually read halfway through. Like I'm already halfway through it, but I really liked the first book. And then this second book, things were happening that I was just kind of like, why am I reading this? But at the same time, I'm still kind of intrigued. And okay, so, well, here's the thing. To be honest, I want to like this book because I want to keep it on my shelves because I really love the covers of these books. But I mean, I shouldn't keep them just for that, right? That's Broken Prince by Erin Watt. It's the second book in the Royals series. The first book was Paper Princess. Like, look how pretty these are. they're just so like simple but pretty, and like they're matte and they have kind of like a velvety texture to them. And I love these covers, but like that's not a good enough reason to keep a book, right? Especially like two books or more. So I really need to either finish this book or get rid of it. Yeah. And I guess with that would go this one, because there's no reason to really keep the first book in a series that I'm not planning on reading. Or is there? Because I did enjoy this one. I think I gave this one 4 stars. I don't remember really, but I feel like I did. I don't know. But yeah, so on my reader Unhaul list is Broken Prince. I already got like that far through it. So like almost halfway, or maybe even a little over halfway. And then I just put it down and never picked it up again. So I either need to finish this or I need to just get rid of it. Okay, so the next one is actually, I have 4 books in this series. So if I don't read the first one, they're all gonna go, obviously. And that is the Vampire Diaries series by L.J. Smith. I bought these books 11 years ago, almost to the day, November 10th, 2011. So it's November of 2022 now. So yeah, I've had these books on my shelves for pretty much exactly 11 years, and I have not read them, and I have 4 of them, and they're fairly large books, so like they take up a lot of space. So we're gonna give ourselves one more shot. I'm gonna read, I have to read, so this is kind of like a bind up, I guess. There's 2 stories in here, so I have to at least read the first one. If I read the first one, I can hold on to the series, and maybe I'll read the rest of it in the future. But if I don't even read the first story in this book, I'm getting rid of all 4. I don't need to keep that many books on my shelves when I'm not reading the series. Yes. So the thing about this is The Vampire Diaries was like one of my favorite shows on TV, like back in the day. I loved it. So like when I was all caught up with the series, caught up, or just like I was watching it along like as it was released, so I don't know if I even had to catch up. I don't know, whatever. But like at some point I was like, "Oh man, this is based on a book series. Like obviously I need to read those books." So I went and I bought all 4 of them, and then I never read them. So and now obviously I'm kind of out of the Vampire Diaries phase of life at this point. So I don't know, but I do still want to give it a shot because I did love that show so much that maybe I'll love the source material. I just need a timeline. I need an end date to work with, I guess. Okay, so this next one is from when I first started watching BookTube. This book was kind of going around on BookTube, and it sounded interesting, so I bought it. It was on sale at Barnes & Noble, so I got it, and then I never read it. And that is The Walled City by Ryan Groudon. I'm not really sure what this is. I don't really remember. But I think it kind of takes inspiration from like the Chinese triads or something. I don't really know. But again, it was going around on BookTube when I first discovered BookTube. It sounded interesting. I found it on sale. I bought it. And now it just collects dust on my shelf. And it's not even like a particularly good looking book. So it's not like I'm keeping it because it adds something visually. It's just kind of there. And every time I look at it, it's kind of like, why haven't you read me yet? It's yelling at me. So that's on the list. And the final book that I have to talk about is another first book in a series that I own the whole, it's a quartet. I own the whole quartet. I have not even read the first book. It is Keeping It Real by Justina Robson. It's the first book in the Quantum Gravity quartet. I bought these books back in like high school or college from Borders. Like they got the whole Borders sticker on them. And I thought, so I read the back and I thought it sounded so good that each week when I got my paycheck, I bought another one of the books until I had all 4. Because I mean, you know, in college, high school, whatever it was, you don't really have a lot of money. You can't just go and like buy a whole series all at once for $16 a piece. That was expensive back then for me, back when I was making like $8 an hour. So yeah, I thought it sounded really good, and I spent my hard earned money buying all four of them, and then I never read it. So, we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna hopefully read it this time. Hopefully, it will be worth younger Sarah's hard earned money. I'm not really sure if it will be, but yeah. And the other funny thing about this book, the first sentence of the little summary on the back is the quantum bomb of 2015 changed everything. And it continues. The fabric that kept the universe's different dimensions apart was torn, and now, 6 years later, the people of Earth exist in uneasy the people of Earth exist in uneasy company with the inhabitants of, among others, the elven, elemental, and demonic realms. So, this futuristic, like near future book now takes place in the past. That's how long it's been on my shelves. So, yeah, we're going to give it a try. We're going to see how it goes. It's going to be kind of weird reading about, a near future world that is now in the past. But yeah, like I said, I spent my hard earned money on these back in the day, so I really need to just read them or give up on them for good. Okay, so there are officially 6 books on this list, but if I were to read none of them, I would actually be getting rid of 12 or 13 books. So that's going to clear up a lot of room on my shelves, or justify. If I read all of these books and end up loving them and keeping every single one of them, it's going to justify losing that much space or keeping that much space on my shelf occupied. The space of like 12 or 13 books. So, best case scenario, I love everything, and the space is justified being filled. And other best case scenario, I don't like any of them, and I get rid of a bunch of books and have space for new books. I think either way it's a win. I think it's going to be a win-win. If I read them, if I don't read them, if I get rid of them, if I keep them, whatever. I think either way I win. So I like that. All right, so this is my stack of read or unhaul books. If you've read any of them and you really enjoyed them, let me know. Maybe I can prioritize that one or those ones and, see if I like them as much as you did. Or if you really read any of these and you really hated them, also let me know, because then maybe I won't even waste my time if it's really that bad. But yeah, so these are the 6 books that I'm going to be trying to read. Let's see, time frame. Like I said, I don't want to put pressure on myself that I have to read one per month, but I also don't want to drag it out for an entire year. So, okay. I said I'm not going to pressure myself with one a month, but I'm kind of going to. So, I have 6 books here, and I'm going to give myself 6 months. So technically it's one a month, but I'm not going to be like, okay, well, this one has to be done by, December, and this one has to be done by, I'm going to give myself 6 months. If I haven't looked at it in 6 months, we'll just get rid of them. It's fine. My guess is some of them are going to be DNFs anyway, or, I'm going to pick it up and forget about it again, which is basically a DNF. So I think 6 months is good. I think they don't need to stick around much longer than that. So yeah, this is my stack. I'm gonna give myself 6 months. Let's see, what is that? So this video was filmed in the very beginning of November, but it is actually halfway through December now, and I'm editing it. I originally said in the video that I was gonna give myself until the end of April to read these books, because that would have been 6 months from when I filmed this. But since I have not actually touched any of those books, and the video is still not up, and it's, again, midway through December, I'm going to say this reading challenge is going to be 6 months, January to June. So it's going to be the first half of 2023. And that way I also give myself, half a month leeway, extra time if I decide to pick one up in December between now and the beginning of January. So that's the plan. Back to the video. If it's one of the ones that's in a series, the whole series is going to go. So that's it. That's the plan. That's what I'm going with. That's what I got to get done. I'm putting a little bit of pressure on myself to pick up some of these books, but hopefully that's what I need, because I really need some space on my shelves. You should see my desk right now, guys. There's books everywhere. My book cart is like overflowing. My bookshelf downstairs is overflowing. We are planning on getting some new bookshelves for this room. We're kind of going through a little bit of a remodel in here right now. But I don't know when that's going to happen. When it does, I don't want books that I don't care about to be on the new shelves. So that's it. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you've tried this concept, if it's worked out for you, and wish me luck. And I'll see you next time. Bye.